Hi, and welcome to Style Thoughts by Rita, and welcome to this video, which is all about the archetypes for the Right+Down Essence. If you don't know what the Right+Down Essence is, I encourage you to check out my videos about the Essence system and about the Right+Down Essence. But in brief, the Right+Down person has the right essence, which is luminous, radiant, refined, inspiring, dreamy. It's kind of the glow, you know? And she filters this right essence through the down styling, which for me is all about being easy, intuitive, approachable. The Right+Down woman has a very delicate, luminous type of beauty that can easily be overwhelmed when things feel artificial. So when we presented the Right+Down Essence, we had the Illuminatrix and the Sweetheart archetypes. Now we have 5, so I'm going to tell you the rest of the archetypes now. In this video, I'm going to explain a bit about the archetype. I'm going to give some kind of general styling tips, and then I'm going to show you a celebrity example. As a reminder, in my system, an archetype is basically a type of person. It's a collection of traits. It's about thinking, like, if we think about the left-rightness, the person who's like here, what type of person are they? You know, what are they like? And how does that show up in their dressing? So I see the archetype as a way to recognize yourself, as a way to feel invited, and like to have like permission into that way of being and styling yourself. And I really see it as an opportunity for exploration and inspiration. Really fun to look at the celebrities I'm talking about. Really fun to think about other celebrities or like media cultural figures that fall into these archetypes. Or just to think about, what would this person dress like? How would they approach their style? For me, style is all about storytelling, and so in this video, when I'm showing you celebrities, I'm really not saying you should look like Miranda Kerr or whatever. I'm saying that this celebrity is telling a story with their style, and I think you can learn something by seeing how they use style, and maybe you can relate to that. Maybe you can bring some of that storytelling into your own style journey. So, okay, let's get started with our first archetype. So she is the main character. I also like to call her the popular girl, but we can talk about that for a second. So the main character, this is a person who is really just, I don't know, she's so easy to connect with, and she's just a person where you automatically feel like you trust them, you like them, you want things to go really well for them. That is how it with any protagonist, right? And the same in the male system. It's just this person who like automatically everybody's rooting for them for no real reason. It's like you're just watching the movie and that just the person you suddenly care a lot about. So I feel you have this really magnetic ability to make people just instantaneously feel at ease with you and feel like they're kind of on your side. It's a person who's living her best life, you know? It's like she knows who she is, she knows what she's about, she has this kind of like easy confidence, this kind of courage where she's really not about trying to prove anything about who she is to other people, but nor is she kind of hiding or trying to blend in. She's just, yeah, like living her best life, and that is so beautiful and so inspiring to other people. So in terms of the style, if you relate to the main character, the main thing, of course, is your authenticity, and this is a keyword for all the Right+Down styling. It's really about being true to yourself and not pulling yourself in directions that feel like forced for you. So for you, style is about feeling comfortable in your situations, right? So it's really good to think about like what's expected from me in this setting. So what can I wear that will help me feel comfortable in terms of that expectation? What's gonna help me live my best life? Style also, you know, helps you connect with the people around you, you know, as the popular girl. You know, you're popular because people want to connect with you. So I think it is about both choosing clothes that help you feel like yourself, so you're open to connecting with other people. But I also find that this archetype is really great for just like taking trends and making them your own, right? So you just really feel free to look around and take whatever silhouettes are trending now and find that way to put your own signature spin on it. That's really beautiful and exciting when you do that. In general, it's this kind of like effort dressing without trying too hard. You can think about it as similar to like the cool girl on the Left Down. It's this kind of like artful low maintenance, right? So you do want to have kind of like a thought through, you know, hairstyle, or like your go-to makeup, or this daily jewelry, or the way you use like makeup or jewelry, or the way you use accessories. There should be some kind of like thought behind it, and there should be some idea, but it shouldn't come off as this thing where you feel like you're trying really hard, because that just goes against your flow. And I'll talk about this for other archetypes. I think it's always really fun for you to have items that have like personal significance. So instead of like, oh, these are just like my black flats, it's like, oh yes, these are the black flats like I bought when I was like in the city on this weekend trip and went to the store, you know? So it's really about like infusing clothes with that personal meaning and making things as personal to you as you can. My celebrity example here is Issa Rae. I think she's an amazing example of the main character. Obviously so like lovable and so confident, but you know, she's literally the main character, the leading lady. When you, for her show Insecure, if you're not familiar with it, it's amazing and also revolutionary show, but it's just about like not, I think Issa is a great role model for somebody where it's not about being perfect. It's just about being herself and taking space and just doing like what she wants and what feels right for her. And it's something where people just love watching her do things. I saw these YouTube videos of Issa like playing games or something, and people below will always be like, oh, I don't trust anybody who doesn't like Issa. You know, it's just, she really inspires this like love for her. And in terms of her style, I think she really incorporates this main character aesthetic where her style is quite trendy, but it's also like relaxed, and there's this kind of variety of looks, and she definitely looks like vibrant. She looks really beautiful, she looks really stylish, but it never feels like forced or it's too much. So that's the main character, and she is at the center of the right down quadrant. She's the core of it. And what's really fun with the right down quadrant is I feel like the other four archetypes are kind of like, you know, like the left up, right down flavor of the main archetype. And this really isn't true for the other quadrants. Like, the role model is not like the left down version of the icon, do you know what I mean? But it's really true for the right down quadrant, so I think that's really, really fun. So let's go to the left up direction and talk about the Illuminatrix now. If you're like, I don't know what the Illuminatrix is, it's just a word I made up. It's like she who illuminates, she who brings light. And I think this is a vibe that a lot of right down women have, but it's especially true for the Illuminatrix. I feel like this is a person who is just really radiant, inspiring, creative. Like, she really has this sparkling personality in my experience, and is kind of moving through life with this sense of wonder and ease. And yeah, so we can think about her style as kind of being the main character style, but with just a bit of that like left up flair and flavor. So I think for you, style is really about adding the joy, adding the play, adding the sparkle to your life experience, right? Style is a way for you to have fun and to just like feel like you're having fun. So it's really important for you to be always thinking about like, what is gonna feel fun to me, right? It's not about what you're showing to other people or like showing them that you're like a fun creative person. It's just about your feeling and that enjoyment. So I like kind of expressive and creative pieces mixed with basics and neutrals for you, because you do have the right down essence, you do have this like delicate beauty, and you don't want to kind of step too far outside and get lost in this costume, but you just feel free to kind of bring things in that add that flair and that fun that you really like, whether that's makeup or your special pieces. Like vibrant, exciting colors. So I think it's all just like fun to try things out, explore and try new stuff without overwhelming yourself. And to also think that for you, it really is about the feeling of the outfit on you and who you are in the clothes, and that you are able to bring that beautiful sparkling light energy into the world when you have the clothes, rather than that you need to like curate the exactly perfect look that like shows people how good you are at style. Like, you know, of course you want to look good, but it's the important thing is like that feeling for you. And I also think because you do like to kind of get quite zesty, I think it's fun to create some dress up occasions or find occasions where you can really explore that creativity and wear stuff that's like over the top without feeling like you are too much. I think that's like a good part of your style journey to create these opportunities. So the style icon I have to represent the Illuminatrix is Solange. I mean, her style is so iconic, it's so expressive, it's so creative. She uses these beautiful, vibrant colors and shapes. I don't know, she just looks amazing, and she definitely has this like very signature Solange style, which is, as I'm saying, like very expressive and creative without being so over the top somehow. If you understand what I mean, if you really look at her photos, I feel like all of her styling has this kind of gentle quality that respects like fundamentally her delicate beauty. And I think that she also like has a quite big range where when she has quite minimal looks, it's not like you're like, oh yeah, well I like her when she has more fun stuff. It's really like the whole range of her looks from the more minimal to the more expressive that is so beautiful and that makes her style her style. So if we travel down to left from the center, then we get to the Explorer. So the Explorer is a person who has a very dreamy, very gentle soul. I find these women to just have a really delicate type of beauty, which is to say that like you are kind of easily visually overwhelmed by things, and not just that, oh, you get lost in big patterns. Okay, that can be true, but it's also about the emotional disconnect where it is just easy for you to feel like you're lost when some clothes come on you that don't feel like you. So it's this like downness that I think really defines this archetype, this need for the clothes to be understated, to be easy, to feel intuitive to who you are, to kind of let you, I don't know, just feel at ease. It's super, super important to you. I find that the Explorer, even though she has this very delicate essence, it's not like she's necessarily a delicate person. You know, I call her the Explorer because I feel like very like adventurous spirit who's like really excited to see what's out there and to experience life. But I do find that this like delicateness of you is something that's really important to honor in clothes. And I know that's something a lot of you struggle with. This thing about like just really not liking attention on you for your clothes. And maybe that like you like clothes that would get a lot more attention, but you just really don't like wearing them. So I think that it's really important and can be really like helpful just to recognize that if you have this very delicate essence, it's not something that's like wrong with you that needs to be fixed. It's your like unique type of beauty that deserves to be like celebrated and lifted up. So in terms of styling tips, I think first of all, it is to really recognize when you feel overwhelmed and recognize what types of things just make you feel like you're just completely stepped out of yourself and now you're this like visual representation. Or what is it that triggers that feeling of like, oh, this is way too much and I really don't want to be seen this way. So like really learning where that like up feeling boundary is for you and learning to respect it is super important. It doesn't mean you have to wear super boring clothes, but it's about like honoring that like inner feeling and that need of desire of yours to have things be kind of functional, supportive, and easy. I think also using the Right+Down logic is so helpful to you to think about what are the situations, you know, what is this like exploration I'm doing right now? What's the next adventure? And how can my clothes really support me in that? How can I use my clothes to support, to connect with this situation and to enjoy this situation, to celebrate the situation, kind of shifting focus a bit from like how you look in the clothes and what you're wearing and more into how your clothes and your style helps you participate in that like your current life exploration. I think this is like a more of a mind trick. But I found it to be super helpful for people with the Explore archetypes, so I really invite you to think about the situations. And I also want to invite you to really find a way to make your clothes feel more special and more interesting. Because I know a lot of times with the Explore, you're like, oh, well, here's like this Pinterest of stuff I really love, but I just know I could never wear it, so I guess I can only wear really boring clothes. But it's like, that's not true at all. Nobody has to wear boring clothes. The trick is just for you to find a way to make the clothes that you feel comfortable wearing to be like interesting, right? So if you don't feel comfortable carrying a really big, like fancy glittery bag because you just really like to have a simple backpack, how can you find a backpack that feels like luxurious and special and interesting to you? Maybe it has like a special texture, maybe you bought it at a store you really love, maybe there's some inner lining that's like a really fun color, maybe you can hang some charms on it, right? Maybe it's like you don't love really big bright patterns, but maybe you love to take one color and kind of sprinkle it through your whole outfit by putting it on your earrings and maybe a bit on your eyes or maybe in your shoes, right? And like telling kind of a story with that color. So it's really about using your creativity and giving yourself what you actually want and need with style and meeting yourself there. And I think that's so empowering for you. So my style icon for the Explorer Saiorse Ronan, she's so beautiful and she's so talented, and I just love like everything that she wears. I think she looks so pretty, and I think she's a great explorer because she really has this very delicate essence, I think, where it's not just, I guess like her coloring is very soft, but I think it is just something about who she is, where when she does kind of really, when she's in editorials or she's in movies, she can get really lost in those characters, right? So effectively, because like this outside thing really distracts from like the Saiorse. But in general, I find that her looks are usually really understated, but really beautiful. There's a lot of interesting details. There's some sort of like surprise element. There's something really fun going on. So even though her looks are minimal and understated, they're never boring. They're never underwhelming. So I think that's a really great inspiration for the Explorer. So next up we have the Gentle Grace. So she's in the right up corner from the main character. So she's kind of more right, more up than the main character. And I call her the Gentle Grace because I do feel like this person has just a naturally very graceful essence. You have this very natural poise, a natural elegance. I don't know, there's this kind of like easy, refined energy around you. This poise, composure that I think other people find very inspiring about you. But despite the fact that you have this very like elegant, graceful composure, it's very authentic. It feels very grounded. It's never like stuffy or pretentious, or you know what I mean? Like it's still rooted in you. So that's like my style tip, is to just acknowledge and celebrate these sides of yourself. Style is really meant to help lift you up. It's meant to like help you feel good about yourself. So when you're meeting your situation, I want you just to feel like good. That's the main thing. And the first step, I think most of the time for you, is just that feeling of like being put together. And what being put together means for you depends on who you are, right? And it depends on where you are. So there's no strict checklist, and you shouldn't listen to people who try to come to you with some checklist of like, you know, the things you need, because it is about your feeling and like what helps you connect with that beautiful, graceful energy within you. Because maybe for you, it doesn't need, you need to put together, you have like your daily jewelry and you have your daily makeup look and you do your hair, right? And that is like helping you really feel put together. For somebody, maybe it's another step of like, you need like, I don't know, there to be some visual, like strong visual theme in the outfit. Whatever you need, you can give it to yourself. I think also like anything that's fancy without fuss is really great for you. So definitely choosing accessories that just feel kind of like special, a bit luxurious. Maybe you want to own a lot of shoes or bags because you want to switch them out based on your mood. That's great. Textures or fabrics, again, that feel just like luxurious, that feel special to you. That can be really nice. Tailoring items, it's great. Getting things tailored to your body. And it's great for all, I mean, I feel like everybody, but it's really nice for you because it gives you that feeling of something being really special and really fancy. just to have kind of a maybe a simple shirt or simple trousers, but they're tailored to be exactly like the right length for you or exactly the right shape for you, and that makes you feel really good. I think also it is important for you just to remember that it's like the Right Down Essence is your home. So it's not about being too strict, forcing yourself into some like capsule or like the only colors and shapes you're allowed, following the rules, right? It's about you feeling yourself. It's not about you proving to other people that you have this like perfect timeless wardrobe. It's like this gentle grace essence. It's like, that's you. That's what you have. Your clothes don't make that happen. They're just there as a supporting element. So my icon for the gentle grace is Emma Watson. I think she's so, she's so luminous, you know, she has that like inner glow kind of. She's so refined and elegant. She's so eloquent, she's so poised, she's so confident, and her style I think is quite simple. And sometimes I feel like her style is like very simple, but yet she shows up on all of these like best dressed and stylists, and there's all these like blogs that just follow literally every time she gets her photo taken, there's a breakdown of what she wears. So there's a very, very keen interest in her as a fashion icon, and I love that because it's like her clothes really are helping her bring out that gentle grace into the world. She has a very thought through aesthetic, but she also takes risks and she likes to have fun. So I think she's also a good inspiration because she does, like, you know, on the red carpet, like she does things that are a bit unexpected, and I feel like she is like using that style to lift herself up and make her feel good and like look beautiful in the process. And the last archetype we have is like down in the bottom right corner. I call her the sweetheart because I feel like this is a person who just has a very sweet heart. And I know that so many people, when they hear the sweetheart, they're like, oh, I'm not a sweetheart. I don't know why it is that we like feel like having a sweetheart is something undesirable. I find that the sweetheart is somebody who's really down to earth. She's very genuine, she's very refined, like inspiring, very dreamy, right? It does feel like a person that has this very gentle, very kind heart and a natural kind of poise that just comes so easy and natural for them. And finally, like, with the sweetheart, like her authenticity is the thing that's really compelling. Like when you with the sweetheart, it's like her presence just feels like it's a gift to you. I feel like that's the overwhelming effect. And I do, as I said, I think people have this response like, I don't want to be the sweetheart, because we associate this person maybe with being weak. But there's nothing weak about having a sweetheart or being an authentic person who is just really like true to herself. I feel like the sweetheart often has this very light and very nourishing energy that is really, really strong and very powerful. And as with the main character, as with all the other Right Down archetypes, I feel like people just tend to really respond to that energy from you. Like they want to like you and be nice to you or whatever. So like even if some people maybe feel like you're not edgy or tough enough, it's like the sweetheartness of you, that energy is very strong. It's very palpable to a lot of people. Okay, so styling wise, I think the first thing for you is just to say no to anything that doesn't feel like you. Because as with the Explorer, you're very defined by this downness, which is like the kind of like the authenticity, the ease, this like personability of your style is like super important to you. And it's easy to get pulled in a lot of directions about, oh, you need to be edgy, you need to be strong, you need to look tough, you know? You get a lot of ideas about what that's supposed to look like from other people, right? Or how that's supposed to be. And I think for you, practicing these boundaries of just being like, nah, this really doesn't feel like what I don't feel like myself in this, is really, really important. In terms of looks, there are definitely like, I just think avoiding heavy, edgy, and dark vibe stuff is just better for you because it really works against the sweetheart vibe. You can definitely wear like a cool leather jacket, or you can wear, you know, like all black if you want. You know what I'm saying? It's like that feeling when things are very like meant to be kind of like heavy and tough. It's just kind of dimming your light, and that's again true for all Right Down women, but it's especially true for you because you're like the most Right Down of the Right Down. Light colors and also kind of gentle or soft colors are your friend. I mean, it's just easy because like you do have this very light energy, so they don't need to be pastels. You can do kind of like earth tones that are soft, right? But it's more about the energetic quality of the color feeling kind of gentle or soft, or it can be like a dark color, but then it's like deep and soft. You know what I'm talking about? So I think those are really great colors for you because energetically they help you. Dainty jewelry, I always just love to see it on the sweetheart. It could be something interesting, right? Like a fun shape or some fun colors, but just something, I don't know, that feels really pretty and like interesting on you. Light and radiant makeup, so you can do quite minimal makeup and hair looks, but again, anything that really helps you bring out that glow is just really gorgeous. And coming back to what I've talked about before, pieces with like personal meaning, because as with a lot of Right Down women, you're hearing it's a theme now. It's like the clothes, they help you be yourself. The clothes, they help you feel a certain way. So it's like clothes that have a special story or a meaning to you. When you wear them, like you feel better, you are different, and everybody gets to like enjoy the benefit of that. But it's just funny because you can't tell that from a photo, right? You can't tell that a person is wearing like the special hat that they bought on their like weekend vacation after a lockdown. They finally got to go to the mountains, you know, like you just see a hat. But in person, I feel like you really feel that energy. So I think finding ways to like find items that have like meaning to you and really rooting your style in this very like personability of who you are, that's really powerful. So my style icon here is Miranda Kerr. Obviously extremely elegant, beautiful woman. I also wanted, just full disclosure, to choose somebody who I know is like known for being sexy, because I think sometimes like women with a sweetheart feel like they're not sexy, because it's like if you're like radiant, that's not I mean, I just think like I really disagree. So definitely we'll have some video in the future on sexiness, but I just wanted to include her because I feel like everybody in the world can agree she's sexy. So Miranda Kerr, what I really like is that she has a very beautiful but very minimal style. People love to take inspo from her, as with Emma Watson, right? It's just countless info on exactly where she bought everything. And I think that's so fun that a person who is so beautiful, who is like a billionaire or whatever, she wears these things that people feel like, oh, like I could wear that too. I think the thing about Miranda is that she really leads with her natural beauty, that she's not trying to kind of create some complex image, but she's just letting herself and her glow kind of lead the way. Can also recommend watching her Vogue video where she talks about her items in her closet and what she loves to wear, because I think it really gives you this insight into how the sweetheart approaches her style and can give you some inspiration. Now I have shown you the 5 archetypes of the Right Down quadrant. We have the main character in the center, we have the Illuminatrix, the Gentle Grace, the Explorer, and the Sweetheart. That's this beautiful Right Down family. I have a course, it's 1.5 hours. You can learn about how to actually enhance your style if you have the Right Down Essence. The course is really, really useful. I can't recommend it warmly enough. So you can get the link below in the description. But I just want to give you some general guidance if you're not ready to get the course yet. I think the first thing is with the Right Down Essence is if you feel overwhelmed easily, or you feel like you just don't like to stand out, you don't want your clothes to be this super complex project, like you don't need to change this aspect of yourself. Like this is totally beautiful and it respects your unique natural beauty, and it's like also the way of being in the world that will help you feel like your best. So it's not like something you need to change your fundamental qualities. It's just about learning how to work with these qualities, and as I talk about in the course, like expand what you allow yourself without having yet to become a completely different person. The bottom line is like situation and context really matters to you. Like where you're going, what you're doing in the clothes really matters, or who's seeing you. It's not something for you to like get over or change. And ultimately, it's like your clothes don't define you. They're meant to support you. So your style is really meant to be supporting you. And it's just really important for you to have fun with your clothes, to like explore. That's really a necessity for you to have this aspect of fun and play. I mean, we all need that in our lives, right? We all need some fun and play, and it's really important for you. So that's Right Down Essence, Right Down Archetypes. See you next time. Bye.